Guys, so in this video we're going to talk about the female people pleasers. I've talked a lot about male people pleasers, and I've recommended the book No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover. And nice being like a people pleaser, wimpy, fawning, trying to get your approval. We like a man who's kind, but nice is used to kind of mean like a doormat. In the same way that this is a book someone gave me for Christmas, Why Men Love Bitches, and bitches kind of being used as a fun word again, meaning like a woman who is feminine and sweet as Georgia Peaches, but she's not going to bend over backwards for a guy who doesn't appreciate her, and she's not afraid of losing a man. She's sweet and she's kind and she has good boundaries. So women are often raised that in order to show a man that we like him and that we're interested in him, we are taught to go overboard and to overcompensate by giving him sex right away, even if we don't want it, or by cooking a meal for him that he hasn't even earned, because cooking a meal or having sex with a virtual stranger is overcompensating, and it's people pleasing, and it's a lack of boundaries. And when you do that for a man, he's not going to respect you the same way that we don't respect a guy who's a doormat people pleaser. So when it comes to cooking, she says, on a special occasion and after he has earned it, cooking him a meal is a nice treat. But it isn't a treat if you give it to him right off the bat. And now she talks about the first thing you would cook for a man. Here's a recipe for an appetizer: popcorn a la carte. I recommend popcorn for its convenience and quick preparation time. First, place the bag in the microwave. When all the kernels have popped, remove the popcorn from the microwave carefully because it will be very hot. Be sure to wear a cooking mitt, an apron, and a spatula to assist in the removal of the popcorn from the microwave. This will not only impress your guest, it will also make it look like you really know what you're doing. If you find that the popcorn is burned, notice where it is burned. If it's black at the top, dump out the black part and salvage the rest by pouring it into a bowl. Serve the yellow part to your guest, and then adjust the time when you make a new bag for yourself. Now, for a main course, another time if you have the gentleman over, this is your main course. Bring a pot of water to a boil and plop in 2 wieners. Cook them for 5 minutes so the wieners are tough or slightly al dente. Pour your guest a refreshing beverage, then send him onto your balcony so he can enjoy the lovely view, as ambiance is everything. Slice and dice the little wieners and stick a toothpick into each piece. Like Martha Stewart, you can truly express your creativity with a wide assortment of different colored toothpicks. Now serve the little wieners with 2 delicate dipping sauces, served side by side: ketchup and mustard. And never refer to them as wiener slices. Always refer to them as gourmet delicate dippings. Now, in both of these recipes, the woman is treating her guest and the meal with great reverence and respect and care and honor, but she's not going overboard. Okay, she's not cooking him a 4-course meal when she doesn't even know him, but she treats him with respect. So I read these on purpose because it just shows how attentive and honoring she is without going overboard and overcompensating for fear of losing him, because people pleasers will do what they don't want. They will overcompensate even subconsciously because they're afraid if they don't, you won't want them, they won't want you, or they will leave you. And that's what is a turn off, because people feel that neediness. All a woman has to do in the beginning is focus on being good company. That's it. That's all you have to do. And don't go off on him. Don't react emotionally. Stay in control of your emotions. Just be good company. Okay? So, now she talks a little bit about sexuality. Also, not to feel jealous of other women, to hold your own. It's your attitude about yourself that a man will find attractive. Like, don't get jealous of other women. Just hold your own and be confident in who you are. Also, wearing your sexuality on your sleeve isn't advantageous in luring a man. The issue is not about whether you are successful in turning him on. This is no big achievement. He can get aroused from riding a motorcycle or from sleeping. The issue is not whether you turn him on, it's whether he stays turned on after he has been satisfied. This is the key. Quality men are attracted by less, not more. If he sees a pretty secretary wearing her hair in a bun, right there in broad daylight, he's going to start wondering what she looks like with her hair down. If he sees a woman dressed in a way that shows there's something moving behind a sweater that he can't see, his desire to see is greater than if she's showing it right off the bat. When you show your shape but don't expose every inch, the unwrapping of the gift becomes much more stimulating. If he has to unbutton an item of clothing to get to what he wants to see, it turns him on more, not less. The difficult part isn't getting a man's interest. The trick is knowing how to sustain it. Much of holding your own in a relationship begins with how you hold yourself. Overcompensating is overcompensating and includes everything from calling a man too much to cooking a 4-course meal to dressing too provocatively. If at a later date you dress provocatively, that's another story. Then he knows you're doing it just for him, so it becomes a treat. And I agree with that. Like when I go on a first date with a guy, I wear casual office attire. I wear office attire. I keep everything covered up because I also feel like showing him more is a privilege that he has to earn. I did make some mistakes with the cooking before, so I'm going to remember this about the cooking. Also, if a woman tries to be nurturing, it comes across as mothering. Do not treat an adult man like a child. So, just remember that a bitch, as used in this book, is a woman who's nice. She's sweet as a Georgia peach. She smiles and she's feminine. She just doesn't make decisions based on the fear of losing a man. She is a bitch with her actions because she isn't willing to give herself up. She remains the person she is throughout her relationship. She doesn't lose her friends. She doesn't give up her career or her hobbies. She doesn't give up all of her time or bend over backwards. And she is not tolerant of disrespect. Now I want to go to the chapter on sex. Skip to that chapter. The sex chapter. The candy store. Okay, what men don't want women to know is that almost immediately they put women into one of two categories, the good time only or the worthwhile. And the minute he slides you into that good time only category, you'll almost never come back out. It's not that the bitch is slutty or more conservative, it's that she demands that he treat her as though she is worthwhile. And that means revealing her sexuality a little at a time. And I'm going to go into teasing later in this book. I'm also going to go into teasing because this is very important, because you do not want to tease a man. That's disrespectful. And also, don't go out with men that you're not interested or attracted to. Be authentic. It's about being authentic and being with a man because you want to, and revealing your sexuality a little bit at a time, because really that's only natural to a woman, okay? I think too many women are way too quick because they feel pressure to be quick, to compete with the other easy women, or to people please the guy. They're afraid that he'll walk off if she doesn't give him sex right away. But if you don't give a guy a kiss on the first date or sex by the third date and he walks off, he was just interested in the sex. He wasn't interested in you. And I've talked to enough men who will tell you, if I like a woman, I don't push for the sex. I want to get to know her. I'm interested in getting to know her. But if I'm interested in getting to know her, I'm just going to go for the candy. That's all I want. The ladies, you got to know this. Okay. With her demeanor, the bitch is subtly driving that train. Because he perceives her as slightly standoffish, he knows a lot of other men can't get to her. In fact, he's not even sure if he can have her. So he'll rarely get the luxury of being able to assume that she's a good time only companion. The doormat woman is more likely to be perceived as a pushover sexually, because she's more likely to sleep with a man for the wrong reasons and much too soon. It has nothing to do with whether she appears conservative. Whether her style is long skirts and a ponytail and she attends napkin folding classes, or she wears sexy clothes and seems like a party girl, the outcome can be the same. In either scenario, if she has sex with a man because she feels she needs to do so in order to win him, he'll sense it and begin to lose respect for her. How long should you wait before having sex? As long as you can. At the very least, keep it platonic for the first month. This tactic gives you time to learn about him. You don't want to wait until after you sleep with him to learn that he's married, or he has an ex-girlfriend with chronic car problems and regularly needs a lift, or that his first cousin recently dumped him when he cheated on her with her older sister. Giving up the candy store one jujube at a time isn't about being celibate or virginal. It is about ensuring that you look out for number one. It ensures that the man develops a habit of putting forth effort so that you are treated the way you want to be treated. Men are possessive. He likes knowing that other men cannot easily get where he is trying to get. And he judges whether you make the rounds by one thing and one thing only: how quickly you give it up to him. It is true that there are those rare chance liaisons between two people who are generally not promiscuous, and it ends up working out well. But this is the exception, not the rule. If you have sex immediately with a man, he'll say to himself for a short while, she just couldn't resist me. But then he'll begin to scratch his head and wonder how many other men you also couldn't resist. Now, here's an attraction principle. Before sex, a man is not thinking clearly, and a woman is thinking clearly. After sex, it reverses. The man is thinking clearly, and the woman is not. Actually, I'm going to take a break from this book and read something that one of you left in the comments about this. Okay, this is from Bob Saffron 8284 on my video called "Do Not Mistake a Man's Sexual Desire for Your Body as a Desire for You." Testosterone distorts a woman's attractiveness to the male on all levels, not just visual. I think this is a point often missed. Testosterone makes her voice, demeanor, sense of humor, charm, mannerisms, apparent intelligence, everything about her more alluring. There is a significant level of male deception at play. And I'm going to rephrase this a little bit. Prior to intercourse, a woman who is a 4 will really appear as a 7 to this man. The post-intercourse readjustment can be genuinely shocking to the man. The woman you lie down with is not the same as the one you get up from. I love his comment because I've never heard it explained so well. We women need to get this, because so many times after a man comes, he gets what's called post-nut clarity. Because when he's horny and turned on, he's in a zone. He's in a zone. His testosterone, his arousal, he's in a zone. He sees you as more beautiful, more attractive. His desire for you is intense. And after he releases, he comes to. He's a different man, you guys. And when he comes to, he's very likely to see you as a 4, and he wants to get the hell away from you. He's like, what have I done? I got to get away from this woman. Unless he likes you. If he likes you, he will want to see you again. If he likes you, if he finds you interesting, he'll want to have a conversation with you. If he's intimacy avoidant, no matter how much he likes you, he's going to want to get away. How a man treats you after intercourse tells you a lot about his ability to maintain intimacy and how much he likes you. But I would not make this test, because 99% of the men that you would easily have sex with are going to be the ones that see you as a 4 afterward. They want to get away, and they feel like I had this and I'm gone, because they're not really interested in you. It was their testosterone and their horniness and your body that they wanted. I call them vagina hunters. That's probably a little bit too unkind, but the man who's ruled by his libido and cannot ascertain whether he's interested in you or your vagina, because his libido elevates you in his mind, in his desire, and his presence with you. His interest in you is driven by his penis, and you can't tell because his penis is ruling his head and everything. The only way to know is to reveal your sexuality slowly over time, because a man who's just ruled by his penis is not going to keep asking you on dates. He's going to get bored with you by the 3rd date if that's all he wanted. Okay? And also, as John Gray explains, a man will bond with you by doing things for you. So the longer you wait to have sex with him, because that's what you actually want to do, it gives him a chance to bond with you, because he gets a chance to get to know you. He gets a chance to do things for you. And men bond by doing things for us. We have to let them. This is not about manipulating a man. This is about, I like this man, and I'm going to let him do things for me. I'm going to receive. That's very sweet. We have to let them do things for us. That's the only way we know they're interested in us. Now, a lot of men are going to get mad at this video. The vagina hunters are going to hate this. But this is what men are saying. This is what John Gray is saying, Bob in the comments, and this woman based on her interviews with men. A lot of guys are not going to like that, because the guys that want easy sex are not going to like the fact that they actually have to earn our trust and spend time with us and gradually get sexual access. And actually, men love that. They love being with a woman who has standards and boundaries, and where he gradually gets the access because he's special and he earned it. She gives the example in the book of a guy who goes hunting. He gets up early, he puts on his clothes, he goes hunting, he gets the moose, he kills the moose, he brings the moose home. He might even hang the head on the wall, and he's so satisfied. But imagine if someone just dumped the dead moose in front of this man's doorstep. He would not have the same satisfaction. I also give the example of studying for a test. You study and you study and you study, and you get a really good grade on your book report, on your speech, on the test, on your project. But imagine someone wrote the speech for you and you got an A. You would not feel as good about it. People feel good when they get rewarded for their efforts. Okay, so let's go on. So we talked about before sex, a man isn't thinking clearly and the woman is thinking clearly. After sex, it reverses. The man is thinking clearly and the woman is not, because she's going to be bonding to him through the sex. When sex happens at lightning speed, the man has achieved what he wanted. The reason he thinks more clearly after sex is that he is relieved and has already attained his goal. Meanwhile, the woman is just starting to pursue her goal. She chases him and he runs. At first, the man wants to sleep with you. He doesn't care what you do for a living. Again, all the guys who are like, we don't care what women do for a career. We just want that pussy. He doesn't care what kind of car you drive. He doesn't care that you like a donut and coffee in the morning with equal and non-fat milk. So you have to turn it into something else. When you make him wait, he begins to notice that you're different. And that's when he begins to care that you like non-fat milk, not cream in your coffee. Okay. There are a lot of men who talk about liking to pursue a woman and kind of working for her sexual access. But granted, there are some men who don't want to invest any effort. These are the men who subscribe to the 3-date rule, or I'm going to say the kiss test, guys. This rule holds that if a woman doesn't put out by the 3rd date, the man should stop pursuing her altogether. There are men who truly want to find a woman they can spend time with. However, the 3-date rule is for men who have ruled out this option entirely. They just want to hit and run, rail and bail, smash and dash. They just want to bang you and release in you like a toilet and be out of there. If a man leaves because he didn't score by the 3rd date, it's a clear signal that he would have left after getting it anyway. That's right, ladies. The guy with the kiss test and the guy with the 3-date rule would have left anyway after all these things because he was just after one thing. But again, guys listening to this does not mean that a woman should friend zone you or lead you on, but I'm going to get to that. This book is for women who genuinely like a man and who end up overcompensating because they like that man. I'm not speaking of women who use men to go on dates to pay for them when they have no interest in the man, and I'm not talking about women who get off by teasing men. So when you leave your comment, please remember, I'm talking about women genuinely interested in a man and trying to get to know him. Okay, the nice girl is more likely to feel obligated, pressured, or manipulated to sleep with a man early on. She sleeps with him and then believes she'll hook him with great sex, as though what she has to offer sexually is golden. The bitch understands that the sex only becomes golden when he doesn't get it right away. Don't be misled by the fact that men want it quick and they're accustomed to having it easy. If given the option, okay, I'm going to skip the rest of this part. And there's some other stuff I want to read to you. This is about the Jujube installment plan and how to gradually be sexual with a man without teasing him, without making him hot and bothered, and without leading him on, to gradually become more sexual. And this is going to be a lot of situations that women put themselves in. Now, if you're making a concerted effort to keep the relationship out of the bedroom, remember his objective will be different than yours. You want your feet on the floor, he wants them in the air. It's not necessarily helpful that you absolutely dig the guy and you're just as turned on as he is. Giving him mixed messages will be easy because he's sexy and he's trying to seduce you. But keep in mind the following signals you're giving the man. Red means no. Green means go. Yellow means you're a tease, which will piss him off. You do not want to titillate a guy. You do not want to lead him on. Do not do this. Your top comes off, there's grinding action, you're kissing on the couch, he thinks you're ready to roll, and you go, no, I'm not ready. This is like taking candy from a child after you've let the child taste it. You cannot titillate a man to the point of no return and then say, no, I just don't feel right about it. You cannot do this, ladies. He'll be thinking, he won't like it. This is where we get the term hot and bothered. After he's no longer hot, he will be pissed off and bothered. Okay? You will have taken all the fun out of it. He no longer thinks you're playing fair, and his feelings will change from lust to resentment. He may stop pursuing you altogether. You can't throw a dog a T-bone steak for an hour and then throw him a celery stick. If you want a man to respect you, you have to play fair. And that means you do not use a man to take you out if you're not interested in him. You do not tease him sexually. You treat a man with honor and respect, as well as yourself. The following guidelines will allow you to delay the time before you have sex without being perceived as a tease. In the beginning, try not to be alone at his place or at yours, especially very late at night. Do things socially that require you to meet somewhere in public. Do fun things during the daylight hours. If you go biking, that will be like a red light. But if you're both wrapped up in a blanket in front of a fireplace with a bottle of wine at midnight, he'll assume you've given him a green light, and now you're teasing him. Give kisses that are sexy and sensual, but do it while you're out, where it's unlikely to last too long. Don't get him worked up when you're alone together while rolling around on the floor, a bed, or the couch. The first few times you go out, he may want to come in late at night after your date. Say goodbye and good night in the lobby. Thanks so much, I had a great time. Don't invite him in. Smile a lot, laugh at his jokes, and be good company. You want him to think of you as a friend as well as a lover. It's a great sign if he babbles on about himself, especially if he's a little nervous. If he likes you, he'll want to open up. That's how you show interest in a man. You smile, you laugh at his jokes, and you listen to him. You're interested in him. Because you want to show some escalation while still having good boundaries, like let the jujubes out slowly. Flirt in moderation. Be careful of sexual joking because it's never really a joke. A lot of times men will use humor to see where the parameters lie. Don't be a prude. You can laugh at your jokes and be playful, but don't stay on the subject of sex for a long time or he'll view it as a green light. Compliment him. Let him know he's desirable to you. For example, lean close and smell his cologne when he gives you a hug, or tell him he looks gorgeous. This subtly confirms you choose to wait for reasons that have nothing to do with his desirability. Really like this tip. Show that you're affectionate and loving. Hold hands, or put your head on his shoulder so he feels manly. Rub his leg lightly at the movies, but don't tease him. That means stay close to the knee. Don't graze private areas or he'll see a green light. And again, when you give a guy a green light and don't go all the way, he's going to get hot and bothered. Try not to get into heavy petting in the car when he drops you off or he'll want to get busy. If it's late at night, don't say come in just for a minute. Don't ask him to come in. There's no such thing as just for a minute after midnight. Don't let on you're pacing it even though you are. Don't ever tell him he'll be waiting at least a month. Don't indicate whether he's getting warm. And try not to give him a 3-day weather forecast for predicting that you'll be ready. Just don't create the opportunity for something to happen if you aren't ready to allow it to happen. This is not about playing games. This is about you going at the pace that you're comfortable at, without trying to overcompensate or manipulate or feel pressured to be sexual before you're ready. And a lot of times women are not even aware that they're feeling pressured or that they're having sex hoping the guy will like her more. You have to be really aware. You have to be willing to say no and see what he does. You know, is he going to get mad? Is he going to not want to see you again? And are you able to enjoy a man without being sexual with him? Are you able to listen to him and enjoy his company? These are important things, ladies. Don't believe him when he says we'll just cuddle. Even if you've known him for a long time and he's a perfect gentleman with extraordinary restraint, the objective is not to tease him. Be affectionate in public. It's generally pretty safe because it can't go any further. Also, in bed, do not define yourself by outside standards. Women who are too nice are too busy trying to measure up. They're trying to compete with the last girlfriend he had or something they've seen in porn, and they're performing. When a woman is too concerned with performance issues in bed, she completely forgets why she's there in the first place. It doesn't become sex, it becomes animation time. Do not fake your orgasms, ladies. If a man makes you feel as though you're on stage competing in a pageant, don't sleep with him. It's much more of a turn on to a man when a woman is able to be herself and honest about what she likes and dislikes. A man loves watching his woman being pleased by him. It's an automatic turn on. It's more important than putting on a performance. If a man says, how many men have you been with? You say, I probably haven't been with as many men as you've been with women. If he brings up another woman, what do you do when he boasts about his past conquests? The bitch already knows what she has to offer is enough. And if he doesn't change the subject by the time she's done looking at her watch, when he wants to talk about his conquest, she looks at her watch, and then she can just say, honey, I'm not one of the guys. Please don't tell me about other women you've been with. And I do like that answer. Okay. A quality guy wants to feel trusted because it makes him feel as though you believe in his character. Until he gives you reason not to trust him, trust him. So that's a little bit about why men love bitches. And it's a book to not be a people pleaser. And again, guys who are trying to get into your vagina are going to hate the fact that you're waiting till you're ready and that you're moving things slowly. But just remember, the majority of men who pursue us are just interested in our bodies. So, you know, it's up to us to weed them out. And the best way to do it is to really just tune in, because it's in a woman's nature to not be sexually available and accessible to random men that we don't even know. Unless you're in the sex work business, and their men have to follow very strict screening protocols. The sex workers I know have a lot more screening protocols than any of these women. A lot more screening protocols, and they actually are treated with a lot more respect because of that. So I could make a video about that, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about women who are dating. And just remember, the majority of men just want to get into your body with very little effort. So part of being an empowered woman is just saying no. And then the men who stay with you are actually men that you can consider dating, you know? If they want easy sex, they can get it anywhere else. They can go on Tinder, or if they actually are able to get a relationship with you, they can have all the sex they want. So again, thank you for watching my video.